Hey, Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, brought to you by BetDSI, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. Interact with me on Instagram and Twitter at Mitchell Renz365. I got a six-pack of Raiders rumors on Super Bowl Sunday. You tell me how many Raiders channels are doing rumors on Super Bowl Sunday. I'll tell you, just one. Subscribe below, youtube.com/Raiders Report. First one coming up here is around Tom Flores, and was he a snub in the most recent Hall of Fame introduction? This one's for Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. This one sickens me. How is Tom Flores not in the Hall of Fame? Can somebody tell me that? Super Bowl champion as a head coach, assistant coach, and a player. Flores was finally named a finalist for the enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year. Unfortunately, Flores was once again shut out for the Hall of Fame in his 24th year of eligibility. I'm devastated, and I'm sure much of Raider Nation can agree with me. In addition to many honors, he was the first minority head coach to win a Super Bowl. During his time taking the Raiders sidelines, Flores posted a 610 winning percentage, winning 83 of his 116 games, finishing with an 83-53 record with the Raiders, okay? That's it, with the Raiders. In the playoffs, Flores was just as good, winning 8 of 11 games, including 2 Super Bowl victories. Like, what is going on? When I think about what a man should be, what a coach should be, what a player should be, man, I'm looking at Tom Flores, and I just don't quite understand how this dude isn't in the Hall of Fame. Maybe you guys can tell me. Maybe you guys can throw in some comments, because I'm at a loss of words, and this one frustrates me. And my dad, he's a huge baseball fan. He's like, hey, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Well, Dad, I'm telling you right now, Tom Flores, he should be in the Hall of Fame as well. So everybody that's watching, I want you to comment TF if Tom Flores deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I expect there to be a shit ton of TFs in the comment section. And don't let me down, Raider Nation, because if I don't see TFs, I'm going to be saying WTF. I'm going to give it now a little bit of a Raider Nation shout-out to Cameron Eckleberry. What's going on, my man? Thank you for all the content you post on YouTube. Helps me keep up to date on all Raiders news. Raider Nation for life. Cameron, my man, much love. Remember, I'm doing this. Subscribe below, youtube.com/Raiders Report. Another one coming in here is from Intergalactic Kaiser69. Interesting. You my spirit animal, bro. Thank you. I'm trying to be everybody's spirit animal. What animal, I guess, would I be? I have absolutely no idea. Raider Nation, what's going on? Interact with me on Twitter and Instagram at Mitchell Renz365. And make sure you guys subscribe below to youtube.com/Raiders Report, the only Raiders channel doing content on Super Bowl Sunday. You're welcome. Yes, I did. And actually, Dom, hit it with the dab. Next rumor coming up here. Raiders playing at Oracle Park. This has been a rumor we've been floating around. Where are the Raiders going to play in 2019? Could it be Oracle Park? I'm giving this one 2 Chucky heads, and people are talking. And the NFL, they want to get this resolved. They want to know where the Raiders are going to play, and I'm sure you and I both can agree. We want to know where the Raiders are going to play in 2019, because it could impact maybe free agency. I think it could even impact some players in terms of draft. Here's the thing. Jason La Canfora came out and he said that the Raiders and sources are actually saying that Oracle Park could realistically be where the Raiders play their 2019 home games, and that we're going to know in the upcoming weeks. And I say thank goodness, because I want to know where the heck the Raiders are going to play. Do I call them the Oakland Raiders? Do I call them the San Francisco Raiders? Ugh, that sounds terrible, but it could actually happen. But according to La Canfora, apparently the Raiders have 3 possibilities of where they could play their home games in 2019. It's at the Coliseum is the number one, and still looking like the most likely. Levi Stadium, currently where the 49ers play, but then also Oracle Park. So it seems like from sources like Jason La Canfora, they say that here are the 3 places that the Raiders could play their 2019 home games. So I want to know from you, everybody watching, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Facebook, I want you to comment below where the Raiders are going to play their 2019 home games. And if you want to be an overachiever, you guys can go bet on where the Raiders are going to play their home games in 2019 at BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. Sign up and deposit with MasterCard or Bitcoin, and then DM Chat Sports on Twitter at Chat Sports. We're going to get you hooked up with a free NFL jersey of your choice. But wait, I got a little extra for you. Sign up with Bitcoin. We're going to give you a 150% deposit bonus. Put down 100, get 150 for free. If you don't know what Bitcoin is, Google's a pretty cool thing, or I can help walk you through the process. Hit me up on Twitter at Mitchell Renz365. I'll sign up with you. I've talked to a few people already in my DMs. I'm telling you, I'm going to give you a call. We'll get it set up. My next rumor coming up here, the Raiders they had a meeting, what the hell was that? A meeting with Khalil Mack, or about Khalil Mack. This one's for Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And this is an interesting rumor. And recently, Amari Cooper talked about this secret meeting, in a sense, that somehow did not get out to the media, about the Raiders talking with coaches, talking with players about Khalil Mack. And when I see this, I think it's really interesting because let's not forget, the Raiders, they played their first game on Monday Night Football against the Rams, okay? On Sunday, before that game, they watched Khalil Mack just absolutely dominate Sunday Night Football and the Packers. And this is what Amari Cooper had to say. Guys were kind of looking at the game like happy for Mack, but mad for the organization. We actually had to have a meeting about what Mack did on that Sunday night. So we played Monday. We came back in Wednesday. We had a meeting about that because some guys were just mad. Like, are they really trying to win here, or am I just here for nothing? Losing Mack, I get it. No doubt hurt. And sometimes things that hurt us make us stronger. And I think that's one of the things, and this is the other thing I'm going to say. Straight up, I think the Raiders did not give up, and I think when you look at what they did at the end of the season, I think that really just kind of shows what kind of team and what kind of coach John Gruden is, and I get it. Mack hurt. Mack's a great player, and yes, I still think the Raiders would be better with Mack. However, watch what the team did over the last few weeks of the season. They fought. They didn't give up, and sure, a lot of us, including myself, said that maybe they should just tank it and get better picks. NFL players don't do that, and I still believe that to this day, and they play tough down the end of the season. So I got a question for you around Khalil Mack. Let's say, maybe you've had a bad breakup in the past. Maybe somebody's left you, and they left you a little bit, jaded, right? Shout out to Drake. Would you want Khalil Mack, though? Type Y for yes or type N for no. If he said, I want to come back and play for the Raiders, but you still got to pay me all $141 million, would you want him back? Yes or no? Next rumor coming up here on the board is around the draft, and it's around Kyler Murray. And guess what? If you're sick of Kyler Murray rumors, we're only getting started for the entire offseason. But are the Raiders interested in drafting Murray? This one's 3 Chucky heads, and I think it's pretty likely. Now, I'm going to give you both sides of the coin before everybody freaks out a little bit. There's no doubt that the Raiders have some interest in Murray, and I think they should, right? So when you see several respected NFL draft analysts mock Murray, I think that's one thing that's interesting. Also, we saw Gruden recently say that he doesn't believe quarterbacks have to be tall anymore. And I think when you look at Russell Wilson, you look at Drew Brees, some of these quarterbacks who necessarily aren't tall, but still can get it done. And at the end of the day, Kyler Murray gets it done. I mean, the dude won the Heisman and absolutely just balled out. He had over 1,000 rushing yards and over 4,000 passing yards. Like, he is a really good quarterback, and I think it's interesting when betting sites such as like BetDSI have Kyler Murray as the highest odds in landing with the Raiders, because these people know what they're talking about, and when sportsbooks do this kind of thing, you really need to pay attention. So the Raiders have plus 250 odds of having Kyler Murray. Jags, Giants, Redskins, other teams that are quarterback needy are also on there. And then they got the Cardinals because of what Cliff Kingsbury said like 2 years ago. The Broncos, the Dolphins, the Bucks. I wouldn't put my money on any of those teams. If I really had to do it, I think the Redskins are a sleeper team. The Raiders are an interesting team. But at the end of the day, I'm also going to say this. If an NFL team like the Raiders isn't interested in Kyler Murray, that worries me because he's a very talented quarterback. The other end that I'm going to say is, let's say that we're really interested in him, and then quarterback-needy teams like the Giants, like the Jags, like the Redskins are like, oh, crap, the Raiders actually really want him. Maybe we need to trade up. That's all I'm saying. So should the Raiders draft Kyler Murray, I want you to type D for draft or P for pass. If you want to know what I honestly think if the Raiders should draft Kyler Murray, I want you to slide in my DMs at Mitchell Renz 365. Shout out to Miz and the Maid for making me and actually Kyler Murray look good too. Go to comfortable.af to see for yourself. They are indeed the most comfortable dress shirt you'll ever buy. Wear them to the gym, wear them to home, wear them to the office, literally anywhere. They don't get wrinkled. Comfortable.af. Guys, I'm telling you, check them out. Chicks dig them. Next rumor coming up here on the board, trading for Nick Foles. And somebody was nice enough to dig up basically a quote that Mike Mayock said back in 2014, and I'm going to give this one Chucky head, and I think it's a small shred of truth because I think that there is maybe a 1% chance that this rumor actually happens. And so the source is saying that the Raiders could actually have interest in Nick Foles because Nick Foles, obviously, the Eagles are going to try to trade him, and Mike Mayock has spent time around the Eagles, but here's the thing. Apparently, Elliott Shore Park of 94whip.com, whoever the hell that is, said that the Raiders apparently believe that they have interest in Nick Foles and what he could be. Also, apparently Mike Mayock back in 2014 said that he would bang on the table for Nick Foles as a franchise quarterback. And I think anytime that somebody brings up an old quote in 2014, I think we need to think about it in a certain kind of context. Like, think about some of the stuff you said in 2014. Think about some of the tweets you tweeted out in 2014. Heck, what were the top songs in 2014? So much shit has changed since then. But luckily, 94whip.com threw together this nice little trade. And when I look at it, I'm just like, what? If the Raiders do this trade, I will be unbelievably frustrated. So apparently this is the trade. 2 first-round picks. So the trade that we got from Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper for Nick Foles. So basically Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper for Nick Foles. Let me just throw up on screen because that's what I would do here. The Raiders, if you all do this trade, I'm done. I'm going to just pack up my stuff and I'm going to go somewhere else. But why did Mike Mayock say what he did in 2014? Because Nick Foles did actually have a very good year in 2013. 64% completion percentage, 2,891 yards. He didn't play the entire year. 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That is an absurd touchdown to interception ratio, and I get he was great that year, and Nick Foles has been pretty magical in the playoffs. But if we trade 2 first-round picks for Nick Foles and when we have Derek Carr, I'm going to throw up on screen. Bet it. All right, who's the better quarterback, Nick Foles or Derek Carr? If you had the choice, okay, you want one of the quarterbacks leading the Raiders in 2019, who do you want it to be? I want you to type F for Foles or C for Carr. If you want to know who I think is the better quarterback, hit me up on IG or Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. If you guys want to bet on the Super Bowl, you better hurry up because it's in a few hours. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code LIVE120. Sign up and deposit with MasterCard or Bitcoin, and then DM ChatSports at ChatSports on Twitter, and we're going to hook you up with a free NFL jersey. You want that Tom Brady jersey? Probably not. You want a Derek Carr, Bo Jackson? I got you. And also, use Bitcoin. I'm telling you. What do you have to lose? Use Bitcoin. You put down 100, get 150 for free. It's the best damn deposit bonus on the internet. Shout out to BetDSI for hooking up Chat Sports with the best promo code on the internet. My last rumor here is around Chirs Warren, and the dude is apparently thick with 2 C's. And is he 270 pounds? This one's for Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. And there's a report out right now that from The Athletic that's saying Warren is 270 pounds. And here's the thing. He was 247 in 2018, and I get that he had a great preseason. And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, Lord, Eddie Lacy 2.0. We're about to have another feast mode on our hands, right? And I get that he could be the starting running back for the Raiders, but here's the other thing. He was on the IR, and he wasn't really able to, work out all that much. Now, he was lifting weights, he was building bulk, but when you're injured, it's really hard to do cardio. So here's the thing. I'm going to say, yes, am I a little bit worried about 270? And when I originally said this in the office, Tom was like, oh, no, Chirs Warren got fat again. Go follow Tom at What Going Downy. But here's the thing. Off-season workout programs start on April 15th. That's 5.5 weeks away from here, okay? When I look at what the Raiders' running back depth chart is right now, Warren still has an opportunity, obviously, to emerge. And if he can't get motivated when he sees Marshawn Lynch, Doug Martin, Jalen Richard, all as free agents, that's a huge red flag. DeAndre Washington, I don't really think is an every-down running back and will not compete with Chirs Warren, who led the preseason with 292 rushing yards. I will say this, though, okay? All he needs to be able to do is get down in a little bit of weight. And when I look at what other running backs have done in the past, when I look at what they, when they enter that workout program, typically running backs lose 15 to 20 pounds, okay? They typically lose 15 to 20 pounds. So if he loses 15 to 20 pounds, he's back at like 250. He's back at 255. Now, if I get a report that after OTAs and minicamp, Chirs Warren is still looking thick, red flags. I'm going to be worried because if you can't get motivated to be the lead running back on a team with a roster that has 3 running backs in free agency, I'm worried, especially with a dude who's had weight issues in the past. Is Chirs Warren going to be the starting running back for the Raiders in 2019? I want you to comment below. Type S for starter, type B for if he's going to be riding the bench. Is Chirs Warren starting running back in 2019? Raider Nation, I'll be back tomorrow with some more Raiders rumors and an extra segment. So until then, go Raiders. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right Here, I'm giving you Chucky heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors, and look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.